Okay, so this is the trade replay for 2nd December 2024. This is 1 week after I have started my experiment, and this was the first Monday I increased the quantity. Um, so today opened with a normal bullish bar, and the way that we have decided to structure our levels, the low of a bullish bar is kind of the unconfirmed day low for us to go with. At the same time, we continue to mark the previous day high, which was this level, which is the previous day high. Also, given last Friday when the market traded, it was a pretty strong trend day. So our previous day low is down somewhere here. During the actual trading, I had also marked the overnight high and overnight low, but for the sake of replay, that probably is not as important. So the market did nothing. It was probably in a range, and we just trade, and it kind of is in the range. So once a bearish bar is created and simultaneously it's also an inside bar, that also tells us that this is probably the bar for the intraday high that we need to kind of look at. Therefore, our preferred trade is if it breaks above this, then we go for long. It breaks below this, we go for short, and we'll see how the market progresses. So this bar kind of came down, but it closed inside the range, so we don't do anything. There's no signal for us. The same thing happened here as well. Again, the market tried to break below that, and it came right back in. Again, the same thing happened. It tried to break and it came back in. At this point of time, it was telling me that probably the market is taking some support, or there is some buying in this zone, that it is not letting close below the low of this bar. Uh, we let the bar be, and it again creates mostly an indecision bar. Nothing to do here. This is the first bar that closes below the low. Now, while backtesting, we have created an approach where we'll try to sell at some points below this. So the hour of the day was $12. So the 10% of that is 1.2. Nearing the high, it's about $1.5. So in for all practical purposes, we'd have tried to sell at somewhere around this. But at this point of time, my thinking in the live market was that market has already taken some support, and it kind of came back and closed right back in. And uh, it also yesterday there was a pinch below this low, and then the market kind of went up. So I don't want to be in a trade where I take it and then it again takes a support here and then moves up. So my thinking at this point of time was that if the market comes below this, then only I will try to sell. So this is where, in fact, in the actual market, I placed a market entry order, which is a slight deviation, but that's how I was reading the market. The market came down and then again closed back up. So some of the thinking is getting validated. It went right back up. It again tried to come down and close inside. So at this point of time, I was thinking that, yeah, probably my thinking is validated. Also, at this point of time, what has happened is that the market from this particular bar has created two higher high, higher low bars. So our preferred breakout level moves to this. Still, I kept the order in the system because if this breaks, then probably there is a break from a good support. I was anticipating that the market may come down sharply. So rather than waiting for close and a break and so on, I deviated a bit and I kept the orders in the system at this level. The market continues. It kind of tries breaking above. It creates a large bar, but which is still continues to close inside the range and also inside the previous day high. So again, they started telling me that probably there is some selling pressure here. In hindsight, because I've already seen what happens in the market, one thing to be aware of is this kind of a setup, which is two bars with equal high, and both of which fail to close below or above a significant level. So, in all practical purposes, this could actually be a good scalp for later reference. But obviously, this I wasn't able to catch this in live market. It continues to come down, rather goes up, and then there is this big bar which comes down. Um, and exactly like if we have been able to catch this double equal highs, probably I need to kind of take that into account. Probably I can modify the code to just assess this a bit. Probably should be easy to do that. Then it continues to come down. It continues. So this small plus sign that we're seeing is a code modification that I have done yesterday after the market closed, because I was seeing some patterns. So essentially, it is looking for a setup near the pinch bar, where there probably could be long taken towards the day high. Um, Obviously, it worked last night in the system, so this would work, but we have to backtest this and see the efficacy of it. But did seem like a good setup. In the live market, I was still waiting for a close above this high, and waiting for it. The market has twice touched the low. It continued to show essentially no movement. Still lot of consolidation. So this is the first time the market kind of broke above the day high. So at this point of time, my thinking was that, um, as we have seen that if the market needs to move up, it actually closes pretty strongly. And if I try to take the trade above the high of that bar, it's already too late and too many points are gone. So looking at the range of the bar that it was making, that you can see here in the table, about 3.5 to $2 and so on. So what I did was I placed buy at $2 above this price, anticipating that if it kind of crosses, then probably it would be at a high momentum, and maybe I will catch the momentum, and then maybe 5 6 points could already be there. So at this point of time in the trade, I had two anticipatory trades in the system, a long above this and a short above this. Market continues, fails to break above the day high, but still it's a bullish bar, so nothing to do. And at this point of time, I got a fill in my trade, and this was also an overbought bar. Now, when I took this, obviously my stop loss was day low, and given that there also has been a sharp move away from a low, so I moved my anticipatory or actually confirmed low at this point of time. And this was also my initial stop loss, and I was waiting for the market to behave whichever way. Then the market closes sharply below this. Nothing to do, because obviously for day high, day low break trades, we give a lot of latitude to the market. So essentially, it's still here. Again, it comes down, has a structure, but doesn't move anywhere. At this point of time, this is the first bar. Again, it starts moving above my long entry, and it has created some kind of swing. So we'll wait for another bar to confirm, which happens, and then we have now the freedom to move our close basis stop loss to this point. So now we are in trade. There's some like whatever 1 point profit, and the way that we will exit our trade is that if it closes below this, then we will kind of enter. We'll exit at this point of time. Because there's an OB bar, we are also looking to see if there is, if we get to exit, is there a uh, if there is a liquidity sweep above this, which helps us go into a short trade till the ST pinch. Okay, so then it kind of does nothing. Small bars, you can see all the sizes of the bar about $2 3. So literally no momentum in the market. So this is the first time the market moves sharply against me after taking the trade. There was some amount of panic that I was going through. However, I kept reminding myself that we already have a view of where we need to exit the trade. So let's not mess with it too much. It comes down and it does not close below the previous day high. This was telling me that probably, okay, maybe there is some momentum and there is some buying pressure existing. The market moves somewhat away, does start doing nothing almost, still below my buying point mostly, again moves sharply against my buying point, but no particular momentum, comes back in, tries to break below the previous day high. Again there is some buying, so it tells me that probably, okay, yes, maybe there is some view of market being traded higher later on in the day. So I'm still waiting. Then it moves somewhat away. Okay, tries to move away, still below my entry point, so I have in loss mostly. Again it creates almost an equal low, and then again closes above the previous day high. So it is trying, my view was that, okay, probably it'll continue to chop and then give some momentum upwards. Nothing happens. Still below my entry point but above my stop loss point. Nothing happens, nothing happens, nothing happens. At this point of time I was reminded that probably I need to change my low, because after that some swing has happened. So I moved my day high to this point, for a fresh to assess the fresh breakouts. Nothing happens, nothing happens. And then first time it kind of closes below my stop loss. So what I decided to do was, obviously now this will become our touch SL, but also because this was at super trend, right? And we have seen that sometimes when the market comes sharply to super trend, then there is a tendency to go upwards. What I decided was that I will give it slightly more room, from a perspective of where I should place the stop loss, and I kind of chose this low as my approach to uh, to do that. Yeah. So, in fact, I had initially, now that I remember correctly, I continue to keep it like this, because what I'm now trying to do is for each stop loss, I'm trying to find out the n-1 stop loss, because I've seen in many cases it comes and then it kind of consolidates at the stop loss level and then moves in my direction. So what I've decided that even in the cases of OB bars, I will keep it at n-1 OB bar, and then this continues to be my close SL, which was whatever, not even touched. uh, the market continues. Now this plus comes, which is our latest addition, and I will see the performance of this over time. But obviously this is in hindsight, so doing nothing. I know that the market then kind of moved up from that point. uh, it comes back, and this is the first time that it kind of goes above my long entry. um, and this is an OB bar that has been created. So this gives us the first opportunity to move it to some proper swing position, and I chose this small red bar as the close basis SL that I will move my close base SL to. The market comes somewhat little down, then it moves a little strongly during the time period of this 5 minute, but then again closes below this day high. So very choppy market again. Pretty close double top. Both of them have failed, so there could probably be a movement downwards, which doesn't happen, and then it first time this closes right now. At this point of time, one of the mistakes that I did is already 4:15. um, when this bar had come, my anticipation was that even if I get like 5 points on the trade, I will be happy, because it's already 4:15. The market would be open for another hour. But I did not place a limit order. So the market went, I could have gotten 5 points or whatever, 3.5, 4 points, but it did not happen. The market came strongly below this, made an inside bar. Again, I missed it, but like probably I was tired or I was not thinking very clearly. I could have still tried to see if I can place the order here, because what happened was is the next bar it again gave me my position, uh, or a chance to exit, but my order was not in the system. So at this point of time, I was kind of panicking a bit to say, okay, what do I do? So therefore, to just lock in some gains, what I did was I moved my stop loss here, and I also made it a touch base stop loss, so that if some exit happens, and at least I'm making about $1 again, given that it's already 4:30. The market continues, and probably I got an exit somewhere here. This is exactly where I got my exit. So it was about $2 actual fill in the system. Then it fell pretty strongly. Um Again, like in hindsight, this plus came, which is okay, because it is curve fitted to yesterday's price action. So obviously there was a good movement from here, uh, which is which is this one, right? So all in all, made couple of points, but we'll have to see what the movement or the backtesting result of these pinches are. A few points to note for later, that the way to trail the stop loss has been made a bit more flexible when we are trying to capture the trend. One thing that I need to evaluate is what happens if I try to take the trade after some pullback rather than buying at the high. The fear is that we will miss on pretty strongly trending days if there is no pullback, and we have seen there is no good way to get into it. So we'll have to figure that out. The second thing to note is that if let's say we still continue to go long above the day highs and so on, so at this point of time I would have been in trade. Now this bar comes, which is giving us a proper entry, so where we would not be able to enter and then take advantage of this if it actually works in the backtesting result. So probably the other bit to think about is that in case of day high day low break, is there a view of a timed exit, that if the market is not giving me any kind of an up move even after, let's say, 30 minutes of my entry, then is it really going to be a trend day? Because the days that I want to ensure that I capture are where there is no pullback, the market never looks back and just kind of continues in one direction. But when that happens, obviously there is not going to be a situation where for so many bars there is no movement. So maybe there is a aspect of timed exit, and once that timed exit happens, then I kind of I'm free to take this trade. So that remains to be seen. We'll continue to evaluate that in the future trade reviews.